Philippine Navy faces off with Chinese Coast Guard at dawn. The news headline blares. The sun rises over the South China Sea, casting golden light on choppy, steel-blue waters. On Ayungin Shoal, silhouettes of ships emerge. One battered, rust-stained hulk and sleek white Chinese vessels circling nearby. Radios crackle with terse commands. Binoculars track every move. Aboard the BRP Sierra Madre, Filipino Marines steel themselves for another unpredictable day. They scan the horizon, knowing each sunrise could bring confrontation. The Chinese ships loom close, sometimes just meters away, their loud hailers blaring warnings. The tension is almost physical, a silent pressure squeezing the nerves of every man on deck. The sea is a chessboard, the ships its pieces. One wrong move can spark a crisis, but withdrawal means surrendering a vital claim. Every standoff, every sunrise, is a testament to their resolve, and the world's uneasy watch. The BRP Sierra Madre is no ordinary ship. Once a World War II landing vessel, it now sits beached and battered, its hull eaten through by salt and time. The ship's deck is jagged with rust, its cabins dark and cramped. Rain leaks through holes in the roof, soaking bunks and uniforms. Rats scurry through the shadows, and the stench of corroding metal hangs heavy in the air. For the Marines stationed here, every day is a test of endurance. With only the most basic supplies, canned food, bottled water, and a few comforts from home, life is a daily struggle. They repair leaks with whatever they can find, patching bulkheads with tarpaulin and rope. Power comes from noisy, unreliable generators. At night, the ship creaks and groans, rocked by waves and wind. Despite the hardship, the Marines find moments of normalcy, fishing off the side, sharing stories, and laughing to break the tension. Letters from family offer hope, but the isolation is real. Their presence aboard the Sierra Madre is a constant reminder. This is Philippine territory, no matter how rough the conditions or how great the risk. The story of the BRP Sierra Madre's arrival on Ayungin Shoal is one of quick thinking and quiet defiance. In 1999, the Philippine Navy made a bold decision. With Chinese patrols growing more aggressive, they deliberately ran the old warship aground on the shallow reef. By beaching the Sierra Madre, the Philippines created a physical outpost, one that could not easily be removed without an open act of aggression. The ship became a fort, a legal marker, and a shelter. It was never meant to last this long, but it has endured, battered by weather and politics alike. The Sierra Madre became a symbol of resistance, and its crew became the guardians of a lonely, windswept frontier. It is a fortress of rust, but also of resolve. Proof that even a forgotten warship can still shape the fate of nations. Ayungin Shoal, known internationally as Second Thomas Shoal, holds immense strategic value. It sits in the heart of the Spratly Islands, a cluster of reefs, shoals, and rocks hotly contested by several countries. For the Philippines, Ayungin is part of its exclusive economic zone, just over 100 nautical miles from Palawan. For China, it falls within the sweeping 9-dash line that marks its claim to most of the South China Sea. Control of the shoal means more than geography. Beneath the waves lie rich fishing grounds and possibly vast reserves of oil and gas. Whoever holds Ayungin can monitor and potentially control shipping lanes vital to global trade. The Sierra Madre's presence is both a challenge and a warning. The Philippines cannot match China's naval power, but by keeping men on the ship, it asserts its rights under international law. Every day, the battle for Ayungin plays out in small acts: radio warnings, supply runs, silent stares across the water. In July 2016, the Permanent Court of Arbitration in The Hague issued a landmark decision. The Philippines had brought a case against China, challenging its sweeping claims in the South China Sea. The tribunal ruled overwhelmingly in favor of the Philippines, declaring China's so-called 9-dash line invalid under international law. The ruling stated that Ayungin Shoal and nearby features were part of the Philippines' exclusive economic zone. But the ruling changed little on the water. China rejected the decision and stepped up its presence with Coast Guard ships and maritime militias. The Sierra Madre became even more important, a living marker of the tribunal's conclusions. Its Marines are there not just as soldiers, but as defenders of the law. The fate of the Sierra Madre is a test: will law or force decide the region's future? Supplying the BRP. Sierra Madre is always dangerous. Every few weeks, Philippine boats weave through the maze of reefs to deliver food, water, fuel, and letters from home. But Chinese Coast Guard ships now shadow every run, often blocking or ramming the supply boats, turning routine missions into tense confrontations. Filipino sailors must dodge, negotiate, and sometimes stand their ground against much larger and better-equipped ships. The Marines on the Sierra Madre anxiously watch the horizon, counting the hours until supplies arrive. Sometimes the boats make it through, sometimes they are turned back, and the men go without. Despite these dangers, the mission continues. The courage of those who run the gauntlet is matched only by the determination of those who wait. Each successful resupply is a quiet triumph, proof that the Philippines will not yield easily. Why risk so much for a rusting, half-sunken ship? For the Philippines, the answer is simple: presence is power. International law often favors those who can show real, continuous occupation of disputed territory. By keeping Marines on the Sierra Madre, the Philippines maintains a living stake on Ayungin Shoal. If the Marines were ever forced to leave, even temporarily, it would open the door for China to seize the ship in the shoal. The Sierra Madre may be falling apart, but as long as it is occupied, it stands as a barrier to China's advance. The ship's continued occupation is a daily act of resistance. It is a small outpost, but its importance is vast, a thin line holding back the tide. China's expansion in the South China Sea is relentless. Over the last decade, it has built artificial islands, runways, and military bases across the Spratlys. Its Coast Guard and maritime militia now patrol the region with growing confidence and strength. For the Philippines, this growing presence is a constant threat. Chinese ships can outgun and outnumber anything Manila sends to the shoals. Each year, their pressure increases through blockades, intimidation, and even dangerous collisions. The Sierra Madre, once a lonely outpost, is now surrounded by a web of Chinese power. If the Sierra Madre were to finally collapse or be forced out, the consequences would be dire. Other Philippine outposts, equally vulnerable, could soon follow. The fate of a single rusted ship now hangs in the balance between global power and local courage. For many Filipinos, the BRP Sierra Madre is more than just metal and rust. It is a symbol of defiance, dignity, and national pride. School children learn about its story. Artists paint it as a battered but unyielding guardian. Its Marines are household names, seen as modern-day heroes. Internationally, the ship has become a test case for the world's response to Chinese expansion. If the Philippines loses the Sierra Madre, it would send a dangerous message. Small nations cannot stand up to great powers. At stake is not just a ship, nor even a shoal. It is the principle that law, courage, and right can still matter in the face of overwhelming strength. The future of the BRP Sierra Madre is uncertain. Each year, the ship tilts a little more, its hull eaten by waves and wind. Diplomats search for solutions, hoping for a peaceful outcome. But the risks grow with each confrontation. Yet the story of the Sierra Madre is not just about danger and decay. It is about the courage of a handful of Marines, living in hardship, holding a line with nothing but hope and resolve. If the Sierra Madre endures, it will stand as proof that even the smallest outpost can resist the tide of history. In the end, the fate of the Sierra Madre is a question for all of us. Will we defend the fragile lines of law and justice, or let them rust away in the waves? Oh.